Happy One Wheel Wednesday. I am so glad you guys are here. Thank you so much for rocking with us. My name is Scott Mendenhall. Today we have a lineup that is spectacular. Oh my goodness. We have one of the youngest Groms that are pro. I think he is the youngest Grom. He'll confirm that. We're pretty stoked to have Jafari on here. We're going to bring him in here in a minute. I can't hear in my headphones, so I'm trying to fix that as I talk. We got Lily over here to my left. How you doing, Lil?
Can you hear me? I'm doing great. Excited to hear from our guests today.
And then we have Seek and Shred, the creators of that. That's going to be awesome. And then we have Holly over here rocking our jersey today.
Yep, you know it.
You just woke up today, felt like you needed it. Well, no one can really see that because you have the stinking iPad in front of you. So
there you go.
I mean, if you're going to wear the brand, you still can't really see it. I mean, seriously.
All right, I'm sitting at
a desk. You're killing the brand.
So you can see it on the sleeve.
You can totally see it. Nothing looks like that.
You know,
killing the brand today. Hey, but we're really stoked that you're hanging with us. If you're brand new around here, like if we wait to the end and ask you to subscribe, then that'll just be forever from now because of all the guests and great things we're going to talk about. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We talk about One Wheel stuff on One Wheel Wednesday as a podcast, and then we do reviews and all of those things. We just recently did a review on the 357Ts. Oh, man. And our first guest has, I think, fallen in love with him. We'll get Jafari's opinion on it, but I have seen footage of him in the wild riding AGT on the skeletons, which we're going to hear from him. He makes them ride way faster than I could ever dream of. The guy is impressive. Speedy. Like, he is Speedy Gonzalez plus 10. If he doesn't know who that is, it's because he's so young.
You'll have to ask him that.
He has got some of the coolest, his family has some of the coolest hair in the One Wheel family ever. My goodness, if we could all have hair like them. They have skills upon skills. Not only does Jafari podium, but his dad does, his uncle does, his cousin does. All they do is win, 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 no matter what. Let's put our hands together for Jafari! How we doing, Jafari?
Welcome to the show.
We get a little. He's. Tell us, where are you located right now? We have a little glitchy system going on. We're trying to troubleshoot that with him. But where are you located currently, Jafari? We don't need.
We're in Grass Valley, California right now, and we're down here practicing, hitting some nice trails. Super nice down here.
Practicing, he says. Now, where are you from, though? When people hear like you're speaking, and I made as we did a troubleshooting thing a second ago, I said, "What are you doing in the United States?" I meant to say stateside, not in the United States, because Hawaii is part of the United States. You call home Hawaii. Is that correct?
Yep. That's where I've been raised. But I was actually born in Jamaica, and we moved to Hawaii when I was very young, and I was raised there.
Jamaican. Okay. That's sweet. That's I wish I had, like, you were born and are from two of the coolest places on this planet. I wish I could say that I'm not.
We've never been to either one of those places.
No.
That would be amazing.
No. Jafari, I have to say that
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. They're beautiful. They got palm trees. Please. It's rainforesty, and it's like the dreams are made where you were born and you live. We are from the Midwest. It's cornfields, bro. Cornfields.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Have you ever been to the Midwest, Jafari? Yes.
Yeah. Wait.
Not really. Not too much.
Yeah. Then.
I might have landed there a couple times.
Yeah. That's
just in passing. Crossroads of America.
He would have been in the lower part of the Midwest recently at Dirt Surfers, right? That's Midwest, but that's way south Midwest. And they don't really have corn there as much as, like, I'm talking here. I'm talking about hundreds of miles worth of just cornfields, bro.
Yeah, I haven't really seen the big cornfields.
Yeah, it's not that thrilling, okay? Just, if you got it on a list to go see, just scratch it right off, okay? You could stop and hang in Chicago for a bit. Chicago's a cool place.
You need a day.
A day
Chicago.
Yeah, that's a cool city.
It's a cool city.
It's okay.
Dyed the river green.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, hold on, Jafari. This is a bragging point because of all of our kids and the way our kids have. What school do you attend?
No school.
Oh, I love to hear that. Okay. What is that? I'm no school. But what does that really mean before you get your parents in trouble?
It's like I have a homeschool program that I do, and it's like it's very chill homeschool when I get home or when I have free time, and yeah, it's very easy. Yeah, and it's dope. So I get to travel and do stuff that other kids wouldn't be able to do.
So true. Like I think when my kids say no school as well, I think Holly cringes at that. Like, no, you go to school. It's just, I think our kids call it building school and homeschool. They don't go to building school.
We don't go to
My
building
question
school.
is, Jafari, you said it's pretty easy. Do you think it's going to stay that way, or do you think any part of school is going to get harder?
Well, next year I'm actually gonna go to high school for my freshman year. So yeah, that's gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna take some time to get used to, but
That's exciting.
Yeah,
Are you excited for that?
I mean, yeah, I'm excited and anxious, but you know how it is going into that first year freshman high school. You know,
You're going to do so well.
It's tough.
Not that great. I skipped it. I heard it was awful.
No, that doesn't
Whatever.
excite it. That doesn't make him confident. You're going to do great. You can sit on a podcast with adults and talk and be fine. You're going to do fine. It's going to be great.
No way.
You're going to love it.
He's going to dream of wanting to be on his one wheel, and now I'm not helping your parents'
You're not
case.
helping
No,
at all.
Was that is that something you're choosing? Like, hey, I want to go try school, high school, or is that your parents saying, nah, you got to go?
I mean, I play like a variety of sports. I do track and field and soccer, and I'm both pretty good at them. Like I would say I'm in the upper class with soccer. So I mean, I wouldn't want to do that for the high school team, but yeah, I mean, at the same time, I do need to get a different type of education and stuff, and the homeschool thing's a little bit harder when you don't really have a teacher pushing it on you. So yeah,
Yes,
at the same time, I kind of do want to move out of it.
Yeah, there's always pluses and minuses on either side for sure. I think people often forget homeschooling as you get further into it, like in middle school and high school. It's all on you now,
Yeah.
and that's not always the most fun thing to do. Is where you have to set your own schedule. But okay, I heard on the One Wheel podcast, for all of those that haven't seen that, you did a great job. You're just sitting back in a One Wheel sweater, looking so cool. Doing a great job. Was that fun?
Yep. Yeah, that was actually my first interview ever.
Wow.
That was crazy. Yeah, I was super nervous. Yeah, my voice was cracking. It was crazy.
You killed it, man. We all watched it. You just killed it. It never came off that you were nervous.
No, I thought you were just really chill.
Yeah, you were just chill. But you did talk about track and soccer in there. Both those sports I played as well. I guess you don't play track. You run track and you play soccer. Both those sports are awesome. Okay, so in Hawaii, even in the One Wheel interview, you talked about how you don't live like down by the beach. You live up in the jungle area, the mountains. You kept saying.
Jungle, the mighty jungle.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's my wife singing for you. She's gonna at any time she's gonna be signing a record deal. I think with the label, it's gonna be great. You live in the mountains of Hawaii. How's that different from what everyone sees? Every movie that has been filmed in Hawaii, and it makes it look like it's surfing sunsets all the time, pipeline, all this stuff. What's the difference of living up in the mountains? Because you constantly say, I live in the jungle, so it must be very different.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't really have like electric lines up there, so you're like off grid. So we have the generator and the solar, and that works very well. And I mean, I get to still see like all the ocean and stuff, so I still get some of that Hawaii part. It's definitely like still like tropical forests, and like you're definitely still there, you know.
Yeah, but I think you just painted the picture really well.
Yeah, the beach is only like 15 minutes away.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's not so bad.
That's not so bad.
Do you know? Jafari, ask me how long it would take me to get to the ocean from Minnesota.
I mean,
No. You're interviewing me now. No, ask
You guys
me.
got the Great Lakes. You guys
We
got-
do. But
Oh my gosh.
if you ask me, Jafari, say, Scott, how long would it take you to get to the beach from your house?
How long would it take you to get?
Well, that's a good question, Jafari. I'm so glad you asked. It would
He's
take-
like, is this guy serious?
yeah, I know this guy. It would take me 32 hours.
Any direction.
32 hours.
Did I just hear
32?
Jafari's dad laughing?
32. It's like a day and a half to get to the ocean of like where you want to be swimming and it's tropical.
Talk about landlocked.
Dang.
Yeah, we got the Great Lakes and they are awesome.
They
But-
are spectacular.
Jafari, they're cold.
No, wait, the
The Great Lakes
yeah.
are freezing.
They are in a good way, I think.
50
It's
degrees.
refreshing.
What's the temp at the beach in Hawaii?
Does it ever get warm?
No, the Great Lakes do not get warm because they're so deep. They kind of have an average temperature around 50 degrees. Now, the littler lakes that are around our house and stuff, yes, they
Those
do get
get
warm.
warm.
But it's nothing. Like, I love where we live, but, bro, 15 minutes from the beach? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The water's like 70 to 80 here.
That's like bathtub water,
bath
bro.
water.
Here in California, but in Hawaii.
Yeah. Okay. So will you go back to Hawaii for school, or are you staying in California to go to school? What's the plan there?
No, I'm going back to Hawaii for sure.
You
After Seek and Shred.
you missing? Are you missing Hawaii, or is California close enough?
I mean, no, I'm not really missing Hawaii. It's kind of like I'm over there for most of the time, and this is really my vacation. So,
Yeah.
Nice.
You're vacationing while racing.
Okay, who are you all in California with? Your dad?
yep, my dad and then my uncle and my cousin are going to fly over for Seek and Shred as well.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Oh, so they went home. Okay. And it's crazy with your dad and uncle. Like, they're hard to like distinguish, at least from
Me
if
too.
you're coming up from
Are
behind.
they twins? Do we know?
Well, I would think
No,
they know.
they're not twins. They're like, I think they're 3 years apart.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Did Dad on the other side
They
of that
look
camera
similar.
just do this for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, your dad's a good man. Your dad's a good man.
Who's older? Who's older?
My dad is older.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So for those that don't know, how like your dad is got his own vibe going on in the one wheel community as well. Who is your dad? So everybody can kind of put it all together, because we're going to start getting into why you're so good, and I think a lot of it has to do with your dad and his connection to one wheel. Who is your dad? How would they be able to follow your dad's story on Instagram and stuff? Let us know.
So like my dad owns a shop called Conscious Rhythms, and Logan owns it too, and they've been having that for like 20 years now, or I think more than 20 years now. And then they started the one wheel team, Stoke Mokes. And
There it is.
Ever since that, they started recruiting the fastest one wheelers. Just each race, they would find someone fast. Like, boom, okay, he's going to be on our team. Okay, we killed it one year, and then the Instagram just kind of took off. And from Jesse Turpin was on our team, and he started killing it. And then everything just kind of took off from there, and my dad is kind of the team leader, and Logan. And, yeah, that's
They
kind of,
never
who my parents are.
at Dirt Surfers. He never approached me, so I must not have been fast enough.
Yeah,
Dang
he must not have
Oh,
recognized
man.
you.
Bummer. He approached me.
He did.
Yeah.
You got.
What's your dad's name, Jafari?
Yeah.
What's your dad's name?
Did you not meet him?
Will, right?
Will.
You approached me,
Yeah,
right,
oh
Will?
my gosh,
Do you
Will.
remember that, Will?
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah, Lily came up.
Will, you see this hardware?
Get out of here.
You see this hardware? Oh, wait. See that hardware, Will? Hey.
Hey.
I got-
He did not approach me.
I got my own hardware.
He did not approach me.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Don't mess with me. This is my hardware. When Lily starts giving me crap about how many trophies she's had, this was one of my trophies one time.
Hey, for those watching, we put the Stoke Mokes Instagram in there for you to follow. It's at 808 Stoke _Mokes. Is that right?
Perfect.
Yeah, it's so fun to follow that. I'm really slow on the one wheel community side of things, putting it all together. It wasn't until Dirt Surfers that it all connected, and I was like, oh, there you have it. But because I followed them for a while, it's a good Instagram account to follow. While you're there, you should subscribe or follow Jafari as well. Is Jafari _OW, right?
Yeah, 0W.
0. Oh, that's tricky. It's tricky. Okay. So, you are the fastest 14-year-old this year. Is that safe to say? Can we say that?
Yeah. Fastest 14-year-old. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that is definitely safe to say, I think.
I think that's safe to say. I mean, what you
fast.
Yeah, yes. What you did to Jeff. We had Jeff on here right after the race where you get him, and just to hear Jeff explain the situation at hand where you pass him, it was impressive. It was like,
yeah.
It looked like you had zero effort because you're that good. Like you're just literally the poster child of floating across everything. It's amazing. Why do you think that is?
I was like, I mean, I don't know. Like my parents say, I kind of have a character to me built already, so people kind of like that because they can just kind of take me there and like, oh, put this on him, and then it will look even better. So I don't. Maybe it has something to do with that. Maybe my image or my hair or something. I'm not really sure.
I mean, that all adds to it for sure. But you got skill. You just watching you.
No, yeah, definitely.
I mean, you know lines, right? You're not just out there riding along going, do, this is so good. I'm in the woods. I'm in Arkansas. I'm in the jungle. Woo, this is so great. You're strategic
thinker.
Yeah, you're strategic. You pick your lines. Where did you learn how to pick lines and trails and stuff? Is that natural to you? Is your dad coaching you in being able to not just simply show up and go, I'm just going to go fast? Because one wheel racing isn't just about how fast you can go. It's how fast you can go and stay on your board, right? So Who's teaching you?
Well, I mean, I love riding with my friends and my cousin Adonijah particularly. So me and Adonijah would just go out for fun, and then it would end up turning into a competition like, oh, this guy's going this fast, man. I'm gonna try. Okay, I gotta we'll be on like a fire road or something crazy, and we'll be going like 20 for no reason because I want to pass him or something. And that's pretty much just having the funnest times ever riding with my uncle and my dad and my cousin just on the weekends, just doing that all the time. And that was basically just practice, just molding me into the rider I am today.
That's pretty sweet. I mean, if you play hard, eventually you get paid to play. That's how I always say it. Play hard.
Yeah.
And you'll eventually get paid to play, which it feels like you because you won against Jeff Adair, you are in for the big race, the Mac Daddy race of one-wheeler racing in September, correct?
I mean, as of right now, I am, but you never know what could happen. You know?
What?
With points, but didn't you lock in a spot with your win?
I thought winning meant you were in, or was that because that's not a premier race? It's different.
No, it wasn't a premier. It wasn't a premier race, so I just got the maximum amount of points I could have got.
Oh, okay. See that?
So then going into Seek and Shred, is Seek and Shred a premier race?
Yes.
Okay, so are you going to win?
I'm going to try my best to win.
Is that the goal?
Definitely. Yeah, it's definitely the goal, for sure.
Okay, so let's take it home.
You raced that event last year, right? Is Seek and Shred?
Yeah, that was my first pro race ever. That was crazy. I was in first, too, and the feature took me out. I don't know if you guys saw that clip. I ate it pretty hard.
There was
yeah, you guys got to find that.
There's a lot of people eating it hard on that feature. So you're not alone, unfortunately. And so when you say feature for everyone at home, is it the teeter-totter feature that you speak of, or the other features that are in there?
mean, it was kind of both, but the teeter-totter kind of got me the worst.
Yeah. And do you think had you not rode a teeter-totter before on a one wheel, or what do you credit that to?
No. I just oversent that. I just didn't wait for it to teeter-tot. I just launched it like a ramp, I practiced, but I oversent it. Oversent it.
Yes. we have homegrown trails here, and we have teeter-totters in it, and if you go too fast, it doesn't drop at all. It is now sending you in the air. So
yeah, it's pretty much just a ramp at that point.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. And then that thing is infamous, man. Like, people were timing it wrong and almost getting their heads taken off. But as long as no one's hurt, as a fan, it's pretty fun to watch how people hit that. And so,
yeah,
we're rooting you on, man. We would love to see a 14-year-old podium at the race. So,
yeah,
what do you got to do this weekend? Is there a certain amount of points you need to get in? Where are you sitting, or do you not know that quite yet?
Or I think I'm ranked as 3rd or 4th right now. So, I mean, I'm sitting pretty. So, I don't have to worry too much, but I still need to do good. I don't want to flop. So, I want to get that podium. I want to get that podium for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You podium on the second day at Dirt Surfers, right? On the excursion race in the pros?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, in the excursion. That was a really crazy race. I don't know if you saw that footage from Nico, but it was carnage. There's a lot of falls.
Carnage is a great way. That's probably bad advertisement for dirt surfers, though, to say that.
I don't know. I think people like that for that
but it was,
style of race.
It's intense. I mean, it's under 8 miles, so it's like somewhere between 7.5 to 8 miles. Your legs are on fire. And all you want to do is finish, and you're trying to go over rocks and drops.
And if you go over too far, you're down the cliff.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
What we had Go ahead.
I was doing great in that race, actually. I was in first until about like pretty much just the last downhill stretch, and I had this super weird fall, and Luke Austin passed me. And then I was like going super hard. I finally caught him, and then we hit this the slabs, and then I was like tail dragging out of the slabs. It was my first time riding the GT, and I slipped out, and then Brandon Peavy passed me again. And then at the finish line, we're fighting at the finish line, and then I'm trying to go for the pass on Brandon Peavy, and then just like a little bump. And I was off my board, and that was it for me. I got 3rd. And,
wow.
Yeah, my board almost went into the Sea of Galilee. That was
that
would have been interesting.
I mean, that would be funny. You come home. I mean, suck if it happened, but you're telling the story. Yeah, I was riding my board, and it fell in the Sea of Galilee. They're going to be like, what? You're in Israel riding your board? This is wild. This is crazy. Okay, so why'd you go with because I was there at Dirt Surfers, for everyone that's listening or watching the podcast today. And you were XR on day 1 of Dirt Surfers, correct?
Yeah.
So what makes you jump to the GT on day 2?
Well, because I was riding a stock battery on my XR before. So previously last year, I tried to do that, and my board died at the finish line, and I was winning, like smoking everybody. Like, It died. Yeah. And I was in the expert. And I was like, okay, I better use my GT this time and actually make it across the finish line with a charged board.
Yeah, good call. That's good thinking.
That's one of the things that was asked in the chat. Everybody wants to know, what's your ideal board? What's your setup? What rails you using? Do you have a specific? Are you leaning now more on the GT? So that you get some practice in on that?
I'm definitely seeing the difference now. Like on my XR, I'm feeling more surges, and now that I'm on my GT, I'm seeing that it's going faster in different spots and not surging at spots where the XR would be. And But on the downhill trails where I need to have my legs bent and I'm being cautious the whole time, I can't really do that on my GT because it's more top heavy and it bucks me off more often. So I like to have a more nimble board, and I like to use my FAF rail so I can have better clearance with the back. And that's on my XR. So. Yeah.
And you are riding, at least you were in Dirt Surfers, you were riding the 357T Skeletons, correct?
Yeah. Those are great on the GT. Loving those.
They're fast.
Very light.
Yeah, they are. Somebody picked up mine versus their stockboard. It's like, this is light. I was like, yeah, well, the skeleton rails, you're missing some of the metal. It's going to be lighter. And do you like the 7% tilt in the back, and I think it's a 3.5 in the front? Did that do getting used to, or are you just like, no, that I fell in love with it right away?
I'm still getting used to it. But I feel like if I did the digital tilt thing a little bit better, it would fix it. But
you've not done that? You have not digitally tilted it all the way?
I've haven't really like felt it and done it like correctly yet.
Yeah, that is a game changer. When I did that, it was night and day. So if you got some time, like who does all of this? New rails, or you get a new tire, or are you changing all this stuff out? Who's doing all of the work on the boards for you?
My dad, but it's usually John Capona Carter. I don't know if you know who he is, but yeah, he's another one-wheeler on the Stoke Mokes team. And he's usually working on my boards, but yeah, John's usually killing it.
So you've got a little pit crew that helps you do these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably should let the pit crew go, hey, guys, in a nice way. Hey, can someone help me tilt this thing? They'd probably do that for you. At least I would. Bring it to Minnesota.
We'll help you.
I will help you.
We'll help you. You will help them.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'll make sure Madsen does it.
Yeah, there you go. There's another perfect person. Okay, so we did a little bit of one-wheel chat there, so let's get into a little bit of what makes you you. What are some of the favorite music that you listen to? Favorite music do you like to just either ride with or sit around and listen to? Who's your go-to? Give me two go-to musicians, bands, artists that we should be listening to.
Okay. My parents own a roots rock reggae shop in Hawaii, and that's kind of built into the one-wheel shop. And before it was actually a record shop in CDs, but a lot of reggae and a lot of island music. So from Bob Marley to Pepper to more surfer reggae and Jamaican music.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We play that around here all the time.
You like that for when it's...
Like when it's summer here, I feel like that's
Summertime.
appropriate music in Minnesota. And so we play it all the time. Bob Marley is on play all the time. Modest Yahoo. I don't know if you know who he is. Yeah. I love that guy.
Just saw him. Yeah.
You did?
You did?
Yeah, we went to Cali Roots and we saw Montes Yahoo. I got to see one of his last songs. We actually weren't really coming to see him, but he was there. But yeah, he was killing it.
I really like his music. I followed him from when he had his long dreads, cut it off, and so I've been a fan of his for a long time, and so that's pretty cool. So then two movies that if the older generation that's watching hasn't seen, what would you say these two movies you need to see?
Kung Fu Panda.
Yes. Legend and Epic cheered you on that one.
Epic especially. He's like,
Kung Fu Panda and Surf's Up. Kung Fu Panda and Surf's Up for me.
Surf's Up,
right.
good ones.
Surf's Up is with the penguin.
Yep.
Yeah, both of those are dynamite. I second those. I could.
Let it go, Kung Fu.
Yeah, the good picks.
Yeah.
Seriously, for everyone watching, and you've never seen those movies, You got to do it tonight.
Jafari says you got to watch.
And then
Kung Fu Panda.
your next ride, or you're just vibing somewhere, Bob Marley or Modest Yahoo. That's a good day right
There you go.
Well, Jafari, it's been a pleasure. We wish we'd had a lot longer with you, but we know you got to get out there training. Seek and Shred is a week away.
Woohoo.
Good luck.
It's so cool to have met you and your dad and uncle and cousin at Dirt Surfers a few weeks ago. Your family's awesome, and we are rooting you on. Can't wait to see how next weekend goes for you, okay?
Yep. Thank you guys for having me. Super pleasure to be on your guys' show. And shoots.
Yeah.
Bless.
Have a good one, man.
Bye, Jafari.
Bye, Jafari. Jafari, man. What a rock star.
Rockstar
He's so
status.
sweet.
Yeah, for sure. He is, seriously.
That was cool.
Sit down, had a good conversation with him about Onewheels, about his methodology and stuff. Wow, that's pretty cool.
He's
Speaking,
super chill.
super chill.
He was
Smart.
like that at Dirt for the Rail or
Dirt for the Rails?
Dirt
New
Surfers.
race.
Dirt for the rails.
Dirt for the rails.
We
yeah.
could make
good.
that a race. Maybe that's our trails.
Yeah, maybe.
Dirt
maybe.
for the rails.
Okay, for those that are still with us today, we have a second guest. This is the creators of Seek and Shred, which is Jafari's coming out party as a one-wheel pro last year. Did really good. Turned heads at the Seek and Shred event, which is a week from this weekend. It is in Northern California. The creators are Manuel and Jen. They are coming in from California. They are in the same location, just calling in separate places. You're going to see both of them. So let's bring them both on the show today. We have a couple minutes with them. This is pretty cool. And Manuel, I hope you're there. There's Jen. How are we doing, Jen? And Manuel.
Good.
This is
Thanks
great.
for having us.
Yeah, our pleasure. Thanks for taking
Glad you
time.
guys are joining us.
It is. This has been quite an event today. We go. We just climbed a generation gap here. Got the 14-year-olds. You got us in this room, and it feels good. We have the creators of Seek and Shred. The mom and dad of who. We'll let you guys introduce yourselves first. Tell us who the moms and dads, so other people kind of put it all together. The creators of Seek and Shred, the parents of who.
Yeah, our daughter is Gabby Soto. So some of you may have seen her racing with pro women. She got her start when she was 14, and she's been to the last couple of races for the rails. She wears a blue helmet. It's kind of her trademark. People recognize her by. But yeah, she's had a ton of fun racing, and we've had a lot of fun helping support her with that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Okay, that's one. Now we got this. We'll let Jen introduce the other.
Yeah, so we do have another child. He does show up at our events and some other events throughout the year, but he's in school. But he's 18 years old, and his name is Enrique. So he will be at Seek and Shred, but he's just finishing school this week.
That's pretty cool. What a great family. Now, we have the honor and privilege to meet all of their family down at Dirt Surfers a couple weeks ago, and it's always hard to put everything together. I think what we put together at Dirt Surfers was, this is Gabby's parents. This is so cool. All right. They're producing a fast one-wheeler, and she's been rocking so well over the last couple years, and so that's what we put it together. And then what happens is we get back into the car, and the three of us talk about, did you know this and this? And all of a sudden somebody said, did you know that the Gabby's parents are the creators of Seek and Shred? It's like, what? We didn't know that. And so our minds were blown that you guys also have created one of the go-to events for arguably the whole entire one-wheel community. I mean, it's... So how did it start? How did you... Maybe we should back this up for everyone that doesn't know Seek and Shred. Maybe, Manuel, you can tell us, what is Seek and Shred for all of those watching here for the first time, never heard it? What is it?
Yeah, Seek and Shred is, it's something we started to really provide an opportunity, and especially on the West Coast, which we're really lacking in having an opportunity for a one-wheel event with so many riders out here. So Seek and Shred was really our what we put together to create great experience for riders in the community, right? So part of that is the race, which we'll talk about, but part of that is also just bringing everybody together for a great community event where they can, meet people that they've only seen or talked to on the internet, and learn from some of the best riders out there. So we have a big focus on not just the racing and the competition, but also on the fun side of it and the community side, and the fact that there's nothing like getting all of us together in the forest for a weekend away from all our normal lives, where we can disconnect and really just have an amazing time around the board that we all love.
Yeah, and so I'm assuming, how did you guys get involved with Onewheels? Because where Jen is located, there's guitars back there, so it kind of makes sense. You're going to do a festival of music. Which one is the guitar player? Is it either one of you?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Okay. So then how did you guys get connected to, Jen, we'll let you answer this question. How did your family get involved with the Onewheel?
So about 4 years ago, 4 years in August, I surprised Manuel with a Onewheel for his birthday. We were on a camping trip in Oregon, and he had been talking about it forever, and he just had never taken the plunge to purchase it himself. So the kids and I decided to buy it for him for his birthday. And from that point on, we, met a lot of really great people. He started riding, and I was actually a trail runner. So selfishly, I bought the board so that he would go out on the trails with me. But we did that for a while until I started riding. But really the event in Seek and Shred came about because obviously Manuel said we saw a need, that there really wasn't a West Coast event. I have a huge events background, so putting on something like this was very familiar to me. Manuel and I love music. Obviously, we have gone to music festivals, and our kids have grown up in music festivals since they were very little. And we love the community aspect and getting everybody together, and just how it kind of becomes a big family. So when we decided we want to do an event, we thought, okay, what two things come together best in our world is music and Onewheels. And we all got started.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. That you guys would put the two together. It just makes sense as you say it. It's like, oh yeah, this makes complete sense. And so, how do you pick the bands that are going to be there? Because the lineup is ginormous. I say ginormous. You have a lot. I see Laser. His name's on the set list from Onewheel. He's playing. I thought that was great. And so, how are you picking your different artists that will be out there?
Yeah, I could touch on that. I think what's been really fun with it is from the beginning, as we started to get into the community and meet more people, and of course you're learning about what they do when they're not on a board. And there were a lot of people that are super talented within our community. Floaty McFly is a great example, right? Floaty is an amazing one-wheeler. He's one race for the rail. He happens to DJ, and he puts out some great stuff. And we started to really start with a focus on pulling bands or performers from the community. People that happen to Onewheel, but also have this talent that maybe people have never seen. And it was a really great way for them to, get on stage, and they're excited because all their friends that they ride with usually don't get to see them do their music thing. And then everyone else gets to see someone like, Floaty or some of these other folks up there doing something they had no idea that he could do. So that was our initial focus, really sourcing it from the community, our vendors sourcing everything from the community. And then since then, we've grown a little bit because we like to add more variety and different types of music. So we've started to invite some other bands as well. But one thing that's been really inspiring to see with all of that is that even the bands that have come to play for us, where only one of them is a one-wheeler at the start of the event, a lot of them, the next year when they come back, everyone in the band is riding a one-wheel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's been really great
It
to
just
see
happens that way.
the growth there as well.
That's awesome. Okay, so we got that part not completely figured out, but we hear the heart behind the music and how you pick the musicians. Now let's go to the Onewheel side of the event, which, it is a premier race for the ORL. So it is, fates can be decided at your race. So that means it's
a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's one of the best races on the circuit. There's only 3 of them this year. And so you guys are the last premier race. Who's putting the race course together? Is it going to be the same race course from last year?
Yeah,
so I can tell. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Jen.
No, so,
You guys are sweet.
I know. It's kind of like we tried to plan out who would talk a little bit.
I'll just start. Well, here what I'll do moving forward. I'll address. Jen, you answer this, or Manuel, and then you can say no. I'm going to default to the other.
Yeah.
So that's how we'll keep that from happening. All right, Jen, go ahead.
So, well, I have to go back to the beginning. When we first, approached Blue Mountain, the owner of Blue Mountain said we want to do. They used to hold motocross events at this event center, and so the owner was very interested in what we were doing, and so he really gave us leeway to kind of build a race course off of what some existing trails that they already had. Austin Silva, we have to give a massive shout out to him because he was a huge master behind our initial build for the course, and so that's kind of what we've been enhancing from year to year. So the initial course is built back in 2021, and then every year we kind of make changes to it, tweak it through different trails, do something slightly different, so that the riders have a little bit better experience.
That's great. I think the question I have, because I've only seen footage from the event, right? I sadly never made it to the actual event.
Someday.
But the feature that was like produced some of the most entertainment and took people out of the race is the teeter-totters. Are they in the race again this year or something new? Manuel, how about you answer that one?
Yeah, the teeter-totters are a fun one, and everybody loves them. And that's, again, I got to give a shout out to Austin, who really helped. Austin, and then Neil Bennett, probably Neil, myself, and then all of our partners. Really, at the beginning, really thought a lot about how do we help push the sport forward? How do we get away from a drag race down a fire road and have some other, number one, mix it up, show different elements of technical skill beyond just going as fast as you can.
Yep.
And that's really where that grew out of, right? Was the teeter-totter, some of these other features of adding things to mix it up, to give somebody an opportunity to where you have to slow down and think of how you're going to do this, or are you going to risk, maybe losing your spot by really going all as hard as you can on something. And so the teeter-totters will be back this year. That is something that will be back. And then, like Jen said, we always try to mix up a little bit in terms of just a couple different changes in either the where the course goes or sometimes additional features. But the goal is always to really add some element of excitement for the racers and the riders to have something new each year, not have the same exact thing.
So they don't know the new features yet then that are going to be for their enjoyment. They'll find out next week then.
Yeah, we try not to surprise people too much, but there's always things that are new at the course that they're going to see when they get to the event, and generally they'll get some practice time the first couple days to, kind of get used to things. But yeah, there's always a fun element to having some surprise and delight for people.
Yeah. Well, for the spectators, for sure. The pros, maybe not, but the Joes definitely love it. That's for sure. I love it. And again, I'm watching from afar, right, the event. And it's very entertaining to see all of the effort that you guys are putting into, because that, I don't know if that comes across to everybody that, if you've never built features or planned out a race or an event, you might think, oh, it just happens. You just put it on the calendar and it all just magically takes place. But, you guys have gotten hours in this. I'm assuming this is not your primary job, right? This is something you're doing out of passion. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, I do have a day job, which is where I'm at today. I've worked for Apple for 15 years. But this is a passion project, and I really have to give credit to Jen, for really being the workhorse behind a lot of this in terms of the planning and connecting and booking bands and really the logistics and operations behind it. And like you said, there's so much more behind it than most people see from the outside. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's something that we've put a lot of heart and soul behind.
Okay, you just dropped that you work for Apple, and immediately I go to the stinking new goggles that they've just dropped that are going to change the world as we know it.
Holy cow.
I know we didn't bring you on here to talk about those, but that's pretty wild.
That's for another day.
If people that have no idea.
Exciting week.
Yeah.
It's a big week for you guys.
Yeah. What are the goggles called? For those that are watching and you have no idea what we're talking about, you live somewhere else than this planet, but what are they called?
Oh, the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yep. Amazing.
I didn't know I needed those until, what was it, Monday they dropped? I was like, Yes, that'll solve so many of my problems. Minority Report all over the place.
What?
You've never seen Minority Report?
No.
Tom Cruise's character is moving his hands and he can have the display in front of him. It looked like that.
That is exactly.
Manuel is going way to just cheapen that product down to.
No, you know what? That analogy is one I've been hearing from all the people that have gotten their hands on stuff this week. Is
That's
Minority
funny.
Report, and just the fact that it's kind of magic in terms of how it interacts with you.
It seems
It
so
is.
wild.
I also have to think there's got to be like I said to Holly, my wife, the other day. I was like, I don't know if it would be healthy for our marriage for both of us to own those. And like, hey, want to watch a movie? Yeah, sure. And we put on goggles and we don't. I don't know if that's going to help our marriage, but I could sure help others.
They sure look cool.
All right, so back to Seek and Shred. Jen, you have a background in these events, and now you're dealing with one-wheelers and all of their needs and stuff.
All of their needs. Are they needy?
They can be.
They can be.
Yes, we need power, and if we don't have it, we get disgruntled.
There's a lot of
I need
truth
power.
to
I
that.
had a flat tire.
Yeah.
I need twine.
And so, Jen,
what I asked Jen for.
this is at a campground, correct? This is not in the city.
No, so it's not even technically a campground. It's an event center. If it was a campground, I'd have a little bit more infrastructure, and that would be exciting. It's in a little town called Wilseyville. It's only a town about 400 people, so it's a little mountain town, and we're in the middle of nowhere. So we bring in all the infrastructure. There's no power on property, so we bring the generators.
Wow.
Everything into the site. So yeah, it definitely is a lot. But for me, events. I've never run a music festival before. Let me just say that this was our first venture on that side. But I did a lot of fundraising. Different charity events and stuff as the kids were little. And so I just kind of the bigger events and getting used to putting out fires every 5 minutes is it's pretty, I can still do it with a smile on my face and be having a great time, so I really love it. But yeah, so Blue Mountain is definitely very remote. And we try to answer as many questions ahead of time for people. We do have showers, which is a good thing, but we bring in all of the porta potties, everything we bring in. So
wow. But as you say this, like I've not been there, but it just sounds amazing. The name of the location or the event center, it's just like, yeah, it sounds like I'm escaping away into some movie scenery. And the footage from there is just amazing.
Yeah, that's one of the key things I think is great about it being remote, and that's why I think that's what makes it special is everybody's staying on site. There are events and races where people, kind of converge on one city or location, but they're all in an Airbnb and you're all spread out over town. Here, everybody is on site filling up that meadow, and it's just a different vibe. It's a different feel. You kind of have everybody, like you said, disconnected from all the stuff you'd normally be worrying about for a few days. And it's special.
I think the cool thing in my experience of hearing other people that have come from your event, and I meet them at Dirt Surfers or we meet them at some other event for one wheel, they'll say, oh no, I got to hang out with these other one-wheelers from California or Arizona at Seek and Shred, and it's because you've created a community like you just said. Everybody's together, and you're not just racing. When the race is over, you're still there getting to meet people. So that's what's special to Seek and Shred to other events is that you get to hang out with a boatie or a floaty or flying Hawaiian, right? They race, it's over, and now you're chilling. Now, on site, can they have like campfire of that nature to hang around at night?
Yeah, we have 2 campfires that are set up right by the stage, and they're pretty big campfires, and that's a big meeting spot for a lot of people. Like a lot of people come down to our events and they don't know anybody. They've never met anybody in the community. They've never been to a one-wheel event, and they'll email us just kind of a little bit nervous about it. And I assure them, I promise you, we'll walk out of here with more friends and know what to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Really beautiful, And so you're either meeting people by the fire pit or stage, or we have camp set up. So Wheel Fun Stuff sets up a big old camp with all this fun stuff to do it. Float Life has a big old camp this year that they're having a bunch of activities and different things going on. So it's really, really great place to come, whether you know somebody or you don't, you definitely will come out with friends. And I think that's absolutely one of the things for us why we wanted to do the events the way that we did, the festival style, because you're sharing meals together, you're going on group rides at midnight together down these trails. It's just really an incredible experience that we go to most of the events. We're usually helping out with some of the events. Sometimes we're doing timing, sometimes we're just helping the coordinators with different things. Gabby's usually racing. So we go to most events. And I think that's just, every event has their unique purpose. And that's what I love about this community and every single one of the events. But yeah, I think the biggest difference is just being all on property together for 4 days straight. And we're all just hanging out, having a great time together. Whether you race or not, you're going to have a great time.
So how? I guess I don't even know if you really know how to quantify how many people you would have, Manuel, this during the race this year. But you'll have racers sign up. But do you have any way to know how many people will be on the property on a given weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we last year, had close to 200 racers, and I think that we'll probably be close to that for this year as well. And then, we'll probably be in the neighborhood of 500 or so attendees for the weekend out there.
That's awesome.
So it's a lot, and people coming from all over the U.S. We're always floored by how far away people are traveling from.
What's the furthest out you've had, Manuel, somebody come to your event?
Well, the Hawaii crew, right? The Stoke Mokes. I know you just had Jafari on, but the folk coming from Hawaii, we've had a lot of folks coming from New York and kind of upside people from, Florida and kind of the East Coast as well.
Wow.
So yeah, I think, actually the furthest, Jen, is probably Benoit, who helps with the Float Life in Europe, right? Who came out last year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. And we do have a good amount coming down from Canada as well. We have one of our sponsors, they're more of a shop up there, but they are coming down from Canada. We have people coming from all over, and Manuel's right. We're always just blown away and just so happy for all the love and support that people are showing for what we do.
Okay, so is registration still open for the event? And if so, how can they get registered? Jen, I'll let you answer this one. If somebody is, if I want to come spectate, do I have to still pay? Some of those things I've been asked a couple of times, and I'm like, hey, we got the best people here. So, Jen, how is registration still open? And if I just want to come camp and watch, am I still having to pay a fee?
So registration is still open. We will keep registration open until next Wednesday, the day before the event. And you will register for races through tickets as well and get a board type, all that kind of fun stuff. We ask that most people do the race registration beforehand just to save time with handing out bibs and chips and all that stuff. It takes a lot longer for people on site. And as far as if you want to come spectate, that's the one thing that is difficult with our event. Because of the location and because of all the other stuff that we bring to the event, the music, there's, it's just a lot. And so regardless if you're a racer or not, you do have to have an admission ticket. We are trying to, we hear that feedback every year, and we try to come up with a way that would work a little bit better. We're hoping by next year, maybe we can come up with maybe a 1-day ticket or day ticket, something a little bit more, feasible for some people that just want to kind of come in and check it out. But as of right now, it is the admission ticket. It gets you from Thursday to Sunday. The slopestyle competition and the downhill competition are the only things that are extra charges. We have an all mountain race that is a free event for anybody that wants to participate on Saturday morning. And all of our other activities, group rides, fun races, all of that stuff is all included in the ticket.
This sounds amazing. I wish it was closer to Minnesota. We, Holly and I, have 8 children, and so I could never come to that event by myself. I'd never live it down. But boy, would fair. Our Groms love to come out there and race, and they've never been to California. So,
yeah,
what a great...
They would love it.
I did.
Scott,
Scott
are you
had talked.
familiar with the
Oh,
slope style event that Jen mentioned that we're doing this year?
I am, yes. I've seen it.
Yeah.
But will you please tell our viewers, because they might not know,
Yeah.
as that is
Yeah.
newer to one wheel racing.
Yeah, this is brand new for us this year, and because it gives a different element. And this year, one of the things with planning that we've really tried to do is figure out how we can provide room for both of these things. The downhill race is a big part of what we do. Obviously, this year it counts. You could win and get a ticket straight to Race for the Rail, which is huge. But we also want to focus on growing and highlighting, giving visibility to the freestyle side of one wheel. For me, that ability to be able to do what we can do on not I'm going to say not me, but a lot of other people like Kyle Hansen and other people can do on a one wheel in terms of freestyle is like nothing else out there. And I think it truly is one of the things that helps define us as a new board sport is the fact that you can do some of those things that you couldn't do on anything else out there. And so our slopestyle competition this year, first time we've ever done this, it's a downhill freestyle contest. And so we're going to have riders that have entered that are going to come through, and we built a whole terrain park out there, which has a ton of features that are custom made for one wheel. And that terrain park is going to be the setting for this competition. So competitors are going to be able to come down from top to bottom with the freedom to pick their line, pick the features they want to hit on the way down, and get judged based on, a number of things, the complexity of what they're doing, the style. We really want to focus on bringing that element out. And so it's going to give just a whole new way to look at a freestyle competition for one wheel. It's not flatland. It's not in a parking lot. It's people on, natural one wheel specific features in the forest that are going to be coming down and getting a chance to really express themselves and show. I liken it to kind of what we've seen with snowboarding over time with, how snowboarding freestyle has developed and really allowed for space for skills that might not be the same as what you'd see in racing, right? But they still deserve the same amount of attention and visibility.
Yeah, I that's how I've seen it before. Is like as you're talking about slow style, I've seen it in snowboard. I believe they have that in the Olympics as well. Be able to bring that to one wheels, boy, I think it's going to be tremendous. I think that's. I mean, did you watch the event of freestyle at Dirt Surfers?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And we love what they're doing there. Yeah.
I think both of these events are going to help push the sport from just a straight race to you get the freestyle trick side. I think both have to be growing at the same time because both of them are impressive. And there's not a bunch of crossover as much of the trick guys aren't always going to be the fastest as well. And so to be able to have a place for both to demonstrate the skills of both, I think is tremendous. I hope there's a way to view this or somebody's going to film it so we can see the highlights of this slope style freestyle event. Is that happening?
I think Float Life is where so Float Life, we're going to give a huge shout out to them because they have been a huge inspiration. We do these prep weekends and they've helped us build the park and all that stuff. And they're actually putting on the competition. So yes, I believe that they are working on a live streaming option. But regardless, if we don't get it live stream, we will absolutely have a post-production that they're doing a whole video about the whole competition. So.
Yeah, if they're involved in it, they're going to document. They do really good on filming and telling the story. So that's pretty cool to hear. I can't wait to watch it. I think that's what, the events are great, but getting these stories told out for the people, the masses, to be able to start seeing so these young Groms, the Jafaris or my kids can watch and go, oh, wait, that's possible? Because it's that generation that's going to come and take this sport to where we're dreaming today. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, really well said. Totally agree.
Yeah, and I want that's how I see the sport is whatever we do today, we're handing it off to the next generation, the next Shaun Whites, right? Somebody's going to be a Shaun White of our sport, but we got to show them. We have to give the infrastructure for the next Shaun White or Kelly Clarkson. I'm naming all these snowboarders if people didn't know. Kelly.
Yep.
Clarkson.
Yeah. Do you not know who she is?
No, I know the singer.
She's a gold medalist like 3 times for the United States.
What about Chloe Kim?
Chloe Kim's also, but I was going old school.
That's old school.
That's Lily. Lily's questioning me. She thought I just named a singer.
Well, sometimes the wires get crossed, and so I just don't want you to be looking.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I understand. Like Legend over there sleeping on the switcher.
Sleeping.
Yeah. Okay, so your event is a week from tomorrow. I keep saying this weekend, but it starts on a Thursday. Okay.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, we'll have gates open up at noon next Thursday, and there's always a line of people waiting to get in. Right.
That's awesome.
That is so cool. I can't wait to start seeing videos dropping from there. Anything else for those that are watching or that will watch over the next week or so, they need to know about your event. If they're on the fence of coming or on the fence of signing up, if you had their attention, what would be the last thing you would say? We'll let ladies go first. Jen will say, and then, Manuel, you'll get the final thoughts today. Jen, what would you say to those that are on the fence about driving, booking a flight out to you? Talk them into coming.
Well, one piece of feedback that we hear from everybody, every single event that we put on is this weekend change. And I think where that comes from is not necessarily all the efforts that Manuel and I and our crew put into the event, but just more the sense of community and feeling like you can leave all your worries away for life for a weekend or for 4 days and come and enjoy this board sport and meet some new people and just be around great vibes all weekend. So it's definitely worth the trek.
Oh, I like that. I think what it is for adults, especially seeing as the one-wheel sport still is primarily a little older. When was the last time you went and hung out with your friends at a campsite? Probably long ago. So all of a sudden you're bringing that back for a lot of people. They're going, oh yeah, man, taking a break from my job, hanging out with people, good community, good things happen.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Manuel, how about you? Last thoughts for those sitting out there.
Yeah, for those on the fence, one thing I would absolutely want to just reiterate for folks is we get a lot of questions from people who say, well, I would love to go, but I'm not a racer, or, I'm just starting to one wheel, or, my wheels, but I don't one wheel yet, right? So should I go, or is there something for me to do? And I would just reiterate to everybody, that's really the goal of why this is an entire festival experience versus, just having a race. It is meant to be an opportunity for anybody who's there, whether you're brand new to one-wheeling, whether you're thinking about it, or whether you're someone who just wants to come and meet people and not necessarily race, but really just get to observe. There's something for everybody. And we have a lot of people that come in that don't one-wheel, and by the end of the weekend, they're one-wheelers now, right? They go from a muggle to one of us, right? And so this is... It's a lot of fun, and I would just reiterate for everybody, if you're on the fence and that's one of the reasons that you're thinking, I don't know if it's for me, just do it. And that alone, hopefully you'll come out of it, like Jen said, telling us it was life-changing, having more friends than you went in there with, and recognizing that so many of the people in this community are just amazing humans. They're all open book in terms of sharing their skills, helping you level up. I think that's the other thing I would really leave people with is our goal. And what I love seeing is people coming out of that weekend more confident, with a new skill, with the ability to tackle something that they never thought they could do before that, just because they had people helping them, they had the camaraderie, and they had the support of the great community.
Ooh,
awesome.
You guys did so good. I think I would speak to those that would say, it's, because it is California. So, like, if you're coming from North Carolina, even Minnesota, the middle of the United States, long trip, long weekend. And it's like, man, it's a memory, and you get to be in the ground level of a sport that's only growing, and it will be a bummer if you could have gone and you said, I wish I would have. And now the sport's progressed and you didn't get to be at the grassroots. It's always fun to be a part of something at the grassroots and be a part of it growing. And this is that season for One Wheel. Get in while it's still small and growing. And small is relative. It's big, but it's got to grow bigger. Get in on the great events. Pay the money. Help all of these events continue to flourish, because with them flourishing, the sport grows, the progression of the sport gets better, and the community stronger. Don't sit on the side going, it's too far. No, help. That's how we help. If you can't put on the event, show up at the event to progress the sport along. That's how we help make this thing go. So hopefully the three of us tackled all three big components of any event.
Yep. No, I'm glad you said that. And shout out to everyone else that's been putting on one wheel events. It's a lot of work. And like, as you said, it's really a blessing for our community to have that, and for the sport to have these opportunities to really keep pushing it forward.
Yeah, I hope one day all of the amazing groups of humans that are putting on these events, that's your job. But I still think all the events being put on, these are their hobbies, right? It's like your full-time job, but you work another job so you can do this job, right? It's a full-time year commitment to get this done. And I hope one day it's your full-time job, that it's that successful, that it has that big of impact, because it surpasses the board when you talk about people saying my life is different because of this. That's what it's about, making lives better, right?
Yeah.
Like connecting with people. And so
And we can tell you guys have a passion for that, and guess what? Passion is contagious. So
Yeah.
just keep doing what you're doing. It's really awesome.
thank you for dreaming something and going to do it. There's not very many people in this world that dream it and go do it. They give us 100 reasons why they can't make their dream happen. You guys have done it. It's cool to hear your story. Just a glimpse of it, right? But you guys are something, and you're doing it. Thank you. Your kids are going to benefit from it, first and foremost, because they're going to see how mom and dad did what you did, and they're going to go, well, that mom and dad had a dream. This is my dream. I'm going to do the same thing they did and see it come true. So thank you for being an example for all of us out here getting after it. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Sorry it's like late. It's like we should have had you back long ago, but this isn't our day job either. This is our hobby. And so it's like, we should. So we'll bring you back on after. What's that, Jen?
Oh, I said it's all good, but let us know when you guys are ready to come out. Let us know. We will help with accommodations, whatever we can do to support you guys.
Oh, you don't know what you're asking for. We roll deep. How many volunteers does it take to do your event?
So this year I have 44 volunteers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I gotta say, that is one thing that we are beyond blessed with. We have every year more and more people show up, the same people show up, help out and get involved, and it's been a really, really beautiful thing. So we are very lucky in that.
That's awesome. If there's any way we can help, next year as you're going to plan and you need more volunteers, we can roll with a crew to come help you do your event like we did at Dirt Surfers. That was a lot of fun for us to just show up and help. And so if in your mind planning next year to make it bigger or whatever, we are at your disposal. So just let us know. You now have our numbers.
Yeah.
So
and you have
yes,
awesome.
That's right. Well, I hope to get to meet you guys this weekend. It sounds like I might meet you again to hang out with you. I shouldn't say meet, be able to hang out with you this weekend before your event. And so it'll be cool to be in your home state for a couple days, booking this with Seek and Shred in mind. But like I said, if I stayed there and I came back to all of our 8 groms and told them that I was there and I raced, I'd never hear the end of it. I would... that's Father's Day weekend as well. I would have been frowned upon for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
No, we hear you. But hey, thanks so much for having us, and thanks for all you do, Scott, you and your team and the family and everything. We just appreciate your support for everything. So
thank you. You guys are awesome. We'll let you guys get back to work. Thank you for taking a lunch break to hang with us. You guys are super cool. We can't wait to have Gabby on to hear her journey and how she rides so stinking fast. Be great to learn from her.
Yes.
So tell her we're coming for her after Seek and Shred.
We will.
we'll let her know.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Bye,
Thank you. Have a
guys.
good one.
Have a
Bye.
great day.
Thanks, guys.
Man, good people, Lily, in this community of one-wheel
Yeah, that was
families.
fun. They're a cool couple.
They are. And like I was saying in beginning, you've got the young Groms coming in, and I know Jafari isn't a Grom. He's 14 and a pro and fast and amazing. And then we get these older generation parents age dreaming stuff up
Yeah.
and building it.
Yeah, it's cool how diverse it is.
Yeah. If you're not inspired today, rewind this and listen again. Yeah, Lily hit her forehead, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
You should be inspired by what you're hearing today. I'm inspired to hear a 14-year-old telling his story and how he's doing it, and then to hear the amazing set of parents dreaming it and doing it for all of us in the community. So we hope you're inspired today. Leave a comment on this video. That really helps the algorithms of the universe. And for those that come back later and go, what's this video about? You just put in there if you've enjoyed it today. What a good, fun podcast. Funny, both are located in California today. Catch that? I didn't really think about that. They're 2 hours behind us. For us, it's approaching dinner. And for them, they're just wrapping up lunch. Funny how the world works, everybody. If you haven't got a chance to get out to Seek and Shred, we invite you to do this. Put together a great weekend. It's not too late. Surprise family. You're going on a weekend trip to California. It'll be amazing. You can go to seekandshred.com. I believe it is. It is .com, right?
Yeah, I was looking at the website. It's seekandshred.com.
Like,
just like
N.
that. N.
Like the letter N.
N is in Nancy. Seek
Okay.
and Shred.
Go there. You can register or just search around on it, on what their events are. You can see the musicians. All those things are really, really, really cool. So love you guys. Have a fabulous Wednesday. Get out there, ride your one wheel. We'll see you next week on the podcast. It's going to be a special one.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.